Hi, this is Ted Kelly with another Ted's Hospitality Minute. Hey, we've got a super guest on today. You're going to love him. His name is Brian Barker. He's with the FIU School of Hospitality, Tourism, and Management. Hi, Brian. How are you, sir?
Ted, how are you? It's great to be with you today.
Oh, absolutely, man. Awesome. And thank you for coming on. As I think back, we started this conversation probably a little over a year ago at the lodging conference.
That is correct. Yeah, just under a year. We met at the lodging conference. That was my first lodging conference, and man, was it a phenomenal conference
Yeah,
up in Phoenix. And I look forward to returning. I've
yeah,
never really seen hospitality laid out in the way that it was at that conference.
yeah. Harry does a great job with that conference, and it's been going for quite a while. Every time I'm there, it's usually pretty spectacular and usually enjoy the time. But let me change gears a little bit. So tell me a little bit before we dive into the business of DEI and all of the great things that you're doing down at FIU. Tell me a little bit about how you got into the hospitality world and kind of what's gotten you here today and the stuff that you're working on.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Ted. Listen, I appreciate it. And listen, I always have to kind of make sure my marketing and my dean team won't get on me. So we are the Chaplin School of Hospitality and Tourism Management. And the Chaplin name is a very important name because it comes from the Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits world that the CEO is Wayne Chaplin, and the Chaplin family has been great supporters of our hospitality school. So I just had to clarify that so that I don't get in trouble with our marketing team. But in terms of me and how I fell into hospitality, literally it was just that. I mean, there was in my high school, I'm from Chicago, Illinois. We had a pioneer hospitality program going way back. I don't want to date myself too much, but it was a cool opportunity for high school students who knew nothing about hospitality to engage. Coming from Chicago, we got an opportunity to go to Disney World. We also explored Bethune-Cookman in Daytona Beach, has a great hospitality program. And after I graduated from high school, I went to Bethune-Cookman based upon that experience that I had. And I engaged with a very important organization called NSMH, National Society of Minorities in Hospitality. Again, it's a national organization, and a lot of heads of brands recruit from NSMH to kind of help with some of their diversity numbers. I was fortunate to land a job with Four Seasons in the lodging operations side. So I went to work with Four Seasons in Philadelphia, all in operation rooms division side. Then I got an opportunity to transfer down to Miami and helped kind of lead that hotel as a front office manager to attain its first 5 Diamond Award recognition. And then after working with Four Seasons for about 6.5, 7 years, I decided I wanted to go back and get my master's. I did that at DePaul University in Chicago. And shortly after completing my master's, they opened their hospitality school. And so I was tapped to teach full time. And then from there, I said, if I'm going to teach full time, I may as well get a PhD. And so I started my PhD at Iowa State. And right now I'm in dissertation mode. And most recently, about a year ago, I landed a role as the Endowed Professor of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion here at the Chaplin School. And the Chaplin School takes diversity, equity, inclusion very, very seriously. In fact, this is the only endowed role in any hospitality program that focuses on diversity, equity, inclusion. And so that gives me an opportunity to do some really cool and fun and innovative things, some of which I think we'll talk about here shortly.
Oh, that is awesome, man. You got quite a trek there, and it's still going.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's been a fun ride. I mean, I've worked with some really great organizations. Four Seasons is obviously no slouch, and one of the leaders in the luxury sector. And DePaul is a great institution. And now FIU, we're top 10 in the United States as a hospitality program. In fact, I think we are now number 3 in the country.
Wow.
Don't quote me on this, but I know we're top 50 in the world hospitality program. So I want to say we're in that 35 percentile range. So we're doing some really great things. We are an international institution. We have a campus in China. We have a satellite campus in DC. We recently signed a contract with the West Indies in Jamaica and Sandals. So we'll have a footprint in pretty much all of the Caribbean. And so, yeah, we're really excited. And as you can see over my shoulder here, we're right off the bay. Really beautiful campus. Almost feels a bit like a peninsula. We're very fortunate to come to work here every day. So yeah, it's been a fun ride, and hopefully it continues to get greater.
Yeah. Now tell us a little bit. You're working on a special initiative right now. Tell us a little bit about that and what's your goal there and what you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely. Yeah, Ted, I mean, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about this. I mean, hospitality is a beautiful and amazing industry. I've learned so much, by being a part of this great organization. And hospitality is perhaps one of the most diverse industries in the world. But what has come about recently is that most of our organizations have realized that while they are diverse, those senior level positions, they're kind of light, and putting it mildly, they're pretty light. And most of the organizations, particularly after George Floyd, were committed to trying to determine how they can change and become a little bit more diverse at those senior levels. Meanwhile, enrollments across the country are trending down in all hospitality programs. And it's even felt more so among diverse populations. So what I'm doing now is I'm charged to create a nationwide alliance, and we've already began to do that. We've outlined our mission, we've outlined our vision, and we have a council that's kind of broken up into 3 different clusters. We have academics, we have the chair of NYU serving on this council. We have the dean of UNLV serving on this council. We have 2 HBCU chairs on this council, and that represents our academics. And then from the industry side, we have some heads of diversity, equity, inclusion, both from Hilton. We're really excited to have the VP Global Head of Diversity, Deshaun Weisporter with Hilton. We have Jerry Montgomery. He's the Chief HR Officer for Carnival Cruise Line, largest cruise line company in the world. We have Apurva Gandhi. He's a Senior VP of Multicultural Affairs for Marriott. And then, of course, we have some other representation. We have JLL, one of their Senior VPs represented on this council. He represents a group of Cornell alums, and that really excited to get behind this council and really kind of support diversity, and a few other individuals. And then our third kind of aspect of this council are associations. So we have Peggy Berg. I imagine you're familiar with Peggy. She's been recognized at many of our top industry associations recently. We also have Andy Ingram, who's very outspoken when it comes to hospitality ownership. And then Evan Frazier, who's kind of veered away from the hospitality industry, but where many people might know him is A, he's a Cornell alum, and B, he was one of the key founders to found NSMH on the Cornell campus in 1989. So we tried to create a very robust and diverse council to address a couple of key things. One, we're trying to address the pipeline challenge. So together, we'll be doing some massive fundraising to raise money to assist diverse students when they want to enroll in 4-year institutions. We recognize that funding college is an expensive thing, but then we also are going to be working on leadership training to get more diverse representation in those senior level positions. And right now, our first priority is going to be GMs in South Florida. Unfortunately, in the full service sector that we're aware of, according to both the Florida Hotel Association as well as some other local associations, there's only 2 Black general managers of full service hotels. And so many of the initiatives that I work on in South Florida are going to be scaled through the Alliance to address them in other parts of the country. So that's just a little bit of a taste of some of the things that we're going to be working on. Because again, we know hospitality is an amazing industry. We know it's extraordinarily diverse, but we just want to kind of help infuse some of that diversity in some of the senior level positions. But then also we want to be able to make sure that we have a strong pipeline of talent that's going to come into our industry.
Yeah, you're touching on some big stuff there, and I realized even in the days when I was coming up and getting professionally going that you really have to be intentional about trying to involve these young folks in the hospitality world, and you got to be able to help support them because, quite frankly, a lot of them don't really have the means or the resources to actually fund themselves through school, right? And a lot of times, those are the jobs that they have when they're in college, when they're trying to pay their way through college. A lot of times, they're in the hospitality industry of some sort, trying to make a means or to an end so that they can finish school and do that. So the importance of the initiative is there, but also just having that intentional mindset that we're going to do this, right? That's so important in what you're doing, because it does sometimes in the programs, it seems like it does kind of get sideways. If there's not an intentional focus on making sure that you're there, then you can lose that focus. Is that not right?
Absolutely, Ted. I mean, you're hitting the nail right on the head. I mean, intentionality is so important, and it's and intentionality can mean different things, particularly geographically, right? In South Florida, I mean, the Hispanic and the Latin community is extraordinarily strong and vibrant. And they, in fact, are the majority, of the population in South Florida. So some of the initiatives that we focus on will focus on the underrepresentation of specific minority groups in South Florida. But again, this is a national initiative. So let's say Chicago, for example, the Hispanic community is large, but not sort of as they don't have the strength, particularly in terms of representation in senior leadership positions. So for South Florida, we'll focus on a general manager leadership training that will focus on the Black population. But let's say a city like Chicago, this might be both Black as well as Hispanics. So we can't be afraid to be intentional. The example I like to share with a lot of people, if unfortunately you get a flat tire and you pull over, you pull your car over, at that very moment, you might need 4 tires, but in that moment, you're going to change the tire that's flat. And so we can't be afraid to address the populations that are least represented. And just to one other point on this kind of sort of framework, there's a national organization or association called NAF, and within it, they have clusters of specific high schools. And so one of the initiatives that I'm working on locally is there are 17 high schools in South Florida, the largest amount in the country in any one concentrated area, that have hospitality students. There are about 4,000 students in this program. I got an opportunity to survey about 150 of them, and more than 50% of these students said they would love to work in the summer, but can't work because of transportation. South Florida, great, destination, great for vacation, not great when it comes to public transportation. And so one of the initiatives that I'm working on is how can we create a hub and spoke model to get these kids to school, right? We believe and we know that if we can get them working while they're in school, a couple of things will happen. One, it means that they'll be less vulnerable to any kind of crime or hardships that might come their way. 2, is very likely they might actually land that hospitality bug and decide to stay with the industry. And then 3, right now, we're going through what we're all kind of come to identify as this the great resignation era, as well as this, great labor shortage. And so we potentially could have 2,000 students that we're now putting to work this summer to address a very necessary labor shortage in our industry.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you can combine that with some type of incentive for them to, hey, we'll give you a scholarship to college, you can study, hospitality and tourism, you're automatically feeding the entire ecosystem, right? So that
Absolutely.
now you're pulling them in, you're helping them get a job and get some means to get through school. Now we got you through school. Now you're in the hospitality, so you're really feeding the industry, from the ground up, so to speak. So that's excellent, man. And I am proud to hear all the good stuff that you're trying to do down there. Now, tell me something. You got a conference that's coming up in
Yes.
October?
We're
that right?
very excited. So yes, you've heard me talk a lot about NSMH, again, National Society of Minorities in Hospitality. And again, this organization has been around since 1989, founded on Cornell's campus. The vast majority of any of the top, I'd say the top 100 hospitality programs generally will have a chapter of NSMH. And the pandemic kind of hit NSMH a little bit hard. And so they're just really returning to their roots and now going to host their national conference on a college campus. They have, for the last, I guess, 15, 20 years, their conferences have been at hotels. And so we're excited that we're going to host this conference. I mean, you know, it all depends on the pandemic and how well colleges and universities across the country will be able to travel. But we're anticipating anywhere between 500 and 600 students that are going to be right here on this campus. We're really excited. Michael Dean Chang we are going to do something really extraordinary during this conference. We're actually going to give away 3 full master's level scholarships during the conference. And we're going to do it in a way that's going to be fun. You know, we're going to, you know, try to gauge and understand. First, the students will have to apply to FIU for our graduate program. And then next, what we're going to do is do what we call is the duck race. Small little rubber duckies, put them in the pool. Every student will have a number. And then we're going to put on some commercial grade fans and blow those ducks across the water. And whoever duck reaches the end of the pool first will get a full, you know, those three students will get full ride master's scholarship. So we're really excited to host the group and to kind of help NSMH relaunch itself. And so, yeah, that's going to be October, I want to say the 13th through the 16th. It's a Thursday through a Wednesday. So we invite all industry to come down, come and be a sponsor, come and recruit some of the best students in the country. Will be right here on this campus. So it'll be a phenomenal opportunity.
Wow, I'm gonna have to watch out for that. Put it on my calendar. I'd love to see that take place live and in action, right? But keep us posted on that. So Brian, we definitely appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time today. If folks want to find out more about the Chaplin School of Hospitality and Tourism Management, how do they do that?
Absolutely. Well, of course, you can, you know, go to fiu.org and type in the Chaplin School of Hospitality Tourism. So you can find information there. If you're, you know, interested in learning more about me and or the Alliance, you can email me, B, and then my last name is Barker, Barker at fiu.edu. Gladly, you know, provide any information that I can about the Alliance, about NSMH, and some of the cool and amazing things that we have going on down here at the Chaplin School, as well as across the country. So it's really an exciting time. And Ted, thank you so much for allowing me to come on and share some of these cool things we're working on.
No, man, you keep doing what you're doing. It sounds like you got it going pretty good down there, man. So I'm rooting for you up here. All right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And I hope Miami Heat takes it a little bit easy on your Hawks, man. So
you guys let up on my Atlanta Hawks. I need Trae Young out there. You need to
Ice Trae,
keep going.
Ice Trae. Yeah, he's a great player, man. So good luck with that. And again, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. This has been another Ted's Hospitality Minute. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us.